Hello, good evening. I am your host, Giancarlo. This is my co-host,
Gabriel.
and this is Barely Football, and we present to you the Offside series. Here we go.
Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do.
Once again, I'm your host, Giancarlo. This is my co-host, Gabriel, back at it again with another episode here on the channel, here on Barely Football, episode 3 here on the Offside series. Before we get straight to the topic, we want to thank all of our supporters that have supported us throughout the channel on the regular and the Offside series too. We've had some positive reviews so far, and honestly, we can't complain. Our fan base, I wouldn't say it has grown a lot, but we have had tremendous support. And little by little, it just keeps growing. You know, we're in a subscriber, and we just keep producing. How do I say? I can't speak. We keep producing content for you guys, and obviously, it's paid off. And we just want to thank all of you for that support. And without any further discussion, let's get straight into this episode here on the Offside series. So, episode 3, right? This episode. It was planned, but we just want to give you I wouldn't say a warning, but this is probably one of the most deepest and very personal episodes that we've ever done in our channel, because in today's video here on the Offside series, we're going to talk about Diogo Jota. Yeah, I assume a lot of people know. A lot of football fans know. The whole football community knows. That's 100% sure. But a lot of people that don't know, that's watching our video right now. Diogo Jota was a Portuguese footballer, very well known in the footballing world. Of course, he died in a car accident last Thursday. And by the time this video comes out, probably a little over a week ago, by the time this video gets published. And it was a tragedy that not just marked the footballing world, but it marked humanity in many aspects. In today's video, we're going to talk about, obviously, the unfortunate tragedy and the unfortunate and surprising death of Diogo Jota. But at the same time, we're going to talk about the life of the footballer, who he was as a person, who he was as a footballer, our views on this unexpected tragedy, and what we can learn from life in this tragedy in general, or any other tragedies that we've seen in our lives. But today we're solely focused on Diogo Jota. Okay, to begin, let's talk about him. So, my co-host Gabriel, let's see what views does he have. Okay, Diogo Jota. We both do not know him as a person. We never met him, of course. I mean, he's in England. We're out here in New York, but we obviously saw him on TV. But let's talk about the footballer, Diogo Jota. Before, obviously, you know who he is. Okay, you've seen him live. All right. So, as a footballer, what was Diogo Jota for you?
He was a footballer. I watched like 2 of his games, bro. I'll be real.
All right, true. We're not Liverpool fans. Obviously, we are football fans. We don't tune in religiously to the Premier League every weekend, but obviously we keep in touch with the Premier League to a certain extent. But Jota was definitely a name that was not a stranger for us. Like it was very familiar. But what did you think of him in his lifetime as a footballer? Was he good? What was he for you? The little that you seen.
He was bang average.
Okay. Bang average.
I've only watched him play like twice.
All right. Fair enough.
And he was like a rotational player for Liverpool.
Fair enough.
But clearly, from the amount of support he's receiving, it seems like he was a great person.
True.
So I won't speak too much out of him out of respect. But yeah, I mean, I thought he was a bang average footballer. Had his moments. I think was better at Wolves than he was at Liverpool.
You really
Suffered
think
with
so?
injuries. But yeah, it's all right. Nothing crazy.
Okay. Yeah, obviously we didn't meet him as a person, but as a footballer, I think I mean, I guess I'm on the same path as Gabriel as well because I did not tune in to Liverpool games. I'm not a Liverpool fan. I just kept in touch on the news and stuff. But Diogo Jota was a not a world class winger. He wasn't a legend of the game, but he was definitely a generational player. I think he always came in clutch, super sub at Liverpool. Um, he had his moments, his clutch moments. Um, he was just your typical footballer, I guess. Not too much of a that made the headlines every week, but he was definitely an integral part for Liverpool for a long time. Um, what's unfortunate about this tragedy is that he was in the prime of his life. He wasn't also in the you know. Let me rephrase that. He was in his prime when he died last week. As a footballer, he was 28 years old when he died, and he just came back from winning the Premier League 2 months ago with Liverpool, and just won the Nations League with Portugal a month ago. And the most saddest thing about this tragedy is, and the most unfortunate, and you have to feel for the family, is that he just got married to his high school sweetheart 11 days prior to his death.
Yeah.
And that is probably the most unfortunate thing to ever happen in mankind, of course, because, if I was in his shoes, obviously you're just living the best moment as a footballer and as a person because you just got married to your high school sweetheart. You just won two trophies in the span of 2 months, which are very significant, the Premier League and the Nations League for Portugal. It's very interesting because this is his second in the international scene. This is his second Nations League because in the first one and back in 2019 he was uncapped. He didn't make his debut for Portugal yet. He was on the bench, but he still won it because he was part of the squad. But he did play in this Nations League here this year in 2025, and he did get some minutes.
He won Ronaldo that penalty, no?
And he did as well. So like this was very significant for him. So his death was very very tragic. At 28 and at the prime of your career and at the prime of your life as a person as well is just the most unbearing thing to see because he was winning in life on and off the pitch. So on and off the field, he was a great guy according to many of his teammates, and he was a very well respected person all around. Humble, worked hard in his career, and he earned his spot. And that's how life is. What do you take? I mean, like all of this situations, like that happened. Like he just won the Prem. He won
No,
the
it's
Nations
it's,
League
it's
for
obviously
Portugal.
sad. I mean, there's not much to say about it. Unfortunately, it's just very
Yeah,
sad and unfortunate. It just teaches us to enjoy the moment and to be safe, obviously,
exactly,
and that never take anything for granted. I think that's the
exactly,
best way to put it. Is that yeah, because you never know. Life is on. Life comes at you quick. Things happen that are unforeseen.
exactly.
I'm sure when he got in that car that night, he didn't think it'd be his last night.
Yeah, no,
So
no, no, no.
just always make smart decisions and appreciate what you have while you have it.
Exactly. Like the night of his tragic passing, he was in his Lambo with his brother. His brother also died in the accident. So, on behalf of Barely Football, we want to send our deepest condolences to the family, to Diogo and his brother Andre, Diogo's wife, and the three kids. Obviously, unbearing tragedy. But um, Andre also died in the accident as well. He was in the Lamborghini, and unconfirmed reports, I think that he was speeding. Don't quote me on that, but there's reports, and it's true that his tire blew up and it caught fire, and they crashed, and unfortunately, the police found their burned corpse on the scene, and it's very unfortunate. He was driving to Spain, and there's a story behind it. I don't know if you knew. You knew that he was driving to report. He was driving on his way because he died in a town called Merendilla, something like that. I gotta find that out. But he was reporting for preseason training for Liverpool. But I don't know if you knew this. His surgeon, because he had lung surgery like a couple days prior to the accident, the surgeon told him, "We don't recommend you to fly." I don't know if you knew that.
I did not.
So
That's why he drove over there.
that's why he drove, because My boy was about to, I think, was about to take a ferry from one of the coastal cities in Spain, and then obviously arrive to Liverpool. But uh, yeah, so that's why he drove. So he drove on the advice of the doctor or the surgeon.
It's tough.
So is this if the surgeon's fault? No, but
Can what they was? Yeah, no, it was never the
no,
surgeon's
no,
fault.
no. That's what I'm saying. It's not the surgeon's fault because he's not. Hopefully, he's not going to go to the meeting. He's like, oh, I regret this. No, no, no. It's just unfortunate circumstances that happen. He died in the town of Cernadilla. Cernadilla is a municipality in Spain, located in the province of Zamora, which is almost off the coast of Barcelona. Um, and he was on his way. At first, when I got the news, in my mind, I was like, what is this dude? What is this guy doing in Spain? But obviously, the reports came in that the surgeon did not recommend him to fly because he had lung surgery. So he was reporting for Liverpool. He was reporting for preseason training, and unfortunately, he never made it. And that's a very sad thing to do to know. His brother Andre was a footballer as well. You probably knew that. You probably
Second
didn't.
division of Portugal, right?
Second division. He played for Penafiel, a team in the second division, mid table, and he just props to Andre. He was, I think I heard, don't quote me, he was having probably the best breakthrough of his career at the age of 25 in the second division. He was a starter. I heard that before he couldn't really make it into teams, but he signed for this team 2 years ago, and then he actually had a breakthrough this past season with Penafiel, and he was actually was playing a big part role in the team. So unfortunate for him as well. You know, we didn't know him, but of course his brother Diogo, the most well known footballer, he actually said in an interview that the best player that he likes to watch is his brother. So I assume Andre was a good footballer. He was a good player. So very unfortunate for him as well. I think he had dreams. Andre had dreams, right? Like he probably wanted to play first division. He wanted to play in the Portuguese league in the first division with versing the likes of Benfica, Porto, and Sporting Lisbon. That he was probably working towards reaching the top level. And unfortunately, circumstances like this gone too soon. So yeah, very unfortunate. Like, so life lesson to everyone. This tragedy, and by any means, all tragedies. Live every day like it's your last, because you'll never know what will happen tomorrow. Always trust in God. You know, as long as you believe in God, everything is going to be okay. But tragedies like these, and I'm talking about Diogo Jota because he was 28 and at the prime of his life and career. Like he said, Gabriel said, um, live every day like it's your last, because you'll never know what will happen tomorrow. We both thank God every single day that we wake up. You know, we're healthy human beings, but you don't know what's going to happen over the course of the day.
It's
Do
true.
you ever think about that?
No, but it is true. Something to meditate on, something to think about.
It's something to think about, yeah. So, like, especially Diogo never woke up thinking that he was going to die in an accident. That's the last thing that he would think of, but, you know. So, looking, just a brief overview of his stats, because of a well known footballer he is, or he was, he did pretty well for himself. Looking at transfer market, he played for four teams. He played for Liverpool, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Passos Ferreira, where he started his career in Portugal, and he played for Porto. All right. So we're combining all of these teams right now and stats right now here on Transfer Market. He scored 136 goals, assisted 66, and 300 and I can what was that? He scored 136 goals, assisted 66 in 398 games in his career. Interesting stats, right? Pretty decent stats, right?
Yeah, good stats.
Unfortunate also too, the death came at a wrong time in terms of his career because he was just closing in on 400 games in his career. For Portugal, he scored 14 goals in 49 games. he was closing on the 50th match, and he never played at a World Cup for Portugal. He was in two Euros. He was in Euro 2020 and Euro 2024 last year. He won two Nations League. One that he wasn't on the bench, and the first one in 2019, and obviously he won this past one, playing a big role in it as well as a super sub in about a month and a half ago, right? So um, he had a he really had a decent career. Uh, Underrated, overrated, bang average footballer. What do you think in that bracket? In that bracket for you?
Fortunately, I think he was just an average player. He had his moments,
Okay.
but I don't think he was anything special, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
true.
yet
He
again,
wasn't.
I watched like two of his games, so I could be wrong. I've heard of him. I knew of him more at Wolves than I did at Liverpool. Kind of forgot he played for Liverpool half the time, to be honest.
He had a really decent career in England. Um, for Liverpool, he scored 65 goals, assisted 26 in 182 games. For Wolves, he scored 44 goals in 131 games, and
Actually, much better stats than I thought.
also,
Hey, he was a good player.
he helped Wolves get promoted back to the Premier League in 2018 for the first time in over 20 years. Some people tend to forget that.
Never mind, he was a good footballer. His stats clearly backed him up.
Loan spell in 2016-17 with Porto. 9 goals in 38 games, 7 assists. Passos Ferreira, where he played for 2 seasons, 18 goals in 47 games, 14 assists. He also signed for Atletico Madrid in 2016, but he never played because he was loaned out and then sold in the span of a year. So he never played for Atletico. So, looking at his stats, he turned out decent. He turned out as a decent footballer. Wherever he played, he performed. He wasn't the man of the hour in the team. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't, like Salah. He wasn't like Luis Diaz. He wasn't. Unfortunately, I'm going to say the name Darwin Nunez. I mean, he did play under Sadio Mane and Roberto Firmino at Liverpool. He was never in the spotlight. He was just behind the spotlight. Obviously,
Supporting player.
a supporting player, a backup striker. He played as a winger and also as a center forward. But talking about clutch, he was always there. You know, he did his job. And I have a personal experience I want to say. I think I told you. I'm not sure. It's kind of scary to think about it now because I witnessed his last career goal of his life. It was against Everton in April in the Merseyside Derby. I think Liverpool won 1-0 or 1-1. And I was in the cruise ship. I was in Europe, and I was heading to Italy, and I was at the gym in the cruise ship, and I saw the game live. And he scored that game, and I saw it live in front of a TV. Meanwhile, I was lifting up barbells. You know, dude, I'm being dead serious. Like, actually, I saw his last goal of his career, and in his life, I think I was lifting 40-pound weights, and I saw him score in front of my eyes in the TV. So it's not funny. It's just I think it's a funny, where I saw it, like very funny coincidence. But looking back at it, I think it was pretty special because at least I got to witness his last career goal and
That's
his
true.
last goal in his life because never we expected the unexpected, and he died. So yeah, so it was a very, very cherishing moment and unfortunate at the same time. To wrap this up, you know, you have a little bit of words because obviously you didn't see him play much. You just saw him on the news and stuff, bang average footballer, peace sign, peace sign, peace sign, peace sign, peace sign. No peace sign, okay. So I didn't get to see him, but he wasn't on the headlines as much, but he was a clutch player. And we got to saw him. I can't speak English. We got to see him. We got to see him play. The bright side of it is that he died in peace, knowing that he won a Premier League and he won a Nations League and he got married. So he won in life. He got what he deserved. He won titles in his career.
Saying he died in peace while he literally burned alive is crazy.
Well, I guess everybody knows what I'm saying. Like he died not knowing the expected, but he won titles.
he. I
Or
mean,
you want to rephrase that? Yeah.
I don't know if I want to rephrase it. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you with that one. I'm not gonna rephrase that one.
No, like he was at the prime of his life and the prime of his career. It was unfortunately taken short. We lost him too soon. So yeah. Um, I did post on my social media, my personal account, that this for me is probably one of the worst tragic news I've had being a fan of the sport in a very long time to receive these type of news, and also one of the worst tragic news I've ever had to live with and experience in my life because a player like Jota, the one that you hear of every week and see balling out in the Premier League each week, is gone. It's like saying Mohamed Salah died. Don't quote me on that. It's just a very important player right now. Generational footballer. And yeah, that was Diogo Jota. Um, in loving memory of him, his brother. Deepest condolences to the family. Deepest condolences to his wife, the three kids. I know for a fact. I don't know. We don't know because we never experienced this, but we can imagine the pain, the unbearing pain that the wife and the three kids are going through right now. And the mother and the father as well, losing their two sons in the same day in the same crash. And the wife as well, you just married the love of your life, the one that you're going to spend time with for the rest of your life, your high school sweetheart. They've known each other for 12 years, since 2013. So
Well, they were 16. Nope, I can't do. Yeah,
they
they were 16.
just tied the knot 11 days prior and never expected it was going to be cut short. So we pray for them um, for safety, for a lot of love and support during these very difficult times, especially in the world that we live in. And also Liverpool as well, because they lost one of their most clutch players, their most important players on the squad. Um, Hopefully this season they can, as a team they can perform. Despite the loss, I know a lot of these players are going to perform for him, and it's a huge loss for Liverpool in sporting terms because I think they have to sign another player, and there's rumors about it as well because Jota was just a very integral part to the squad, and yeah, just a difficult time. Just praying for safety, praying for easiness. Hopefully everything in due time they can get through, and like they say, you can get through, but the pain will never go away. As a football fan myself, I'm very sad, of course. Gabriel as well, because I don't know if you're that sad, but it's a very tragic, you know.
I wouldn't say I'm sad. I think it's. I mean, it's more of like it's sad to see someone so young pass away, and obviously in such circumstances he did, and the timing
Exactly.
in the way he did. But I wouldn't say sad. 'Cause unfortunately, I
Yeah.
don't know him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's a very tragic event. That's what I would say. It's a very
Yeah.
tragic situation,
Yeah.
and yeah, no, it's obviously the best of the family. But yeah, I mean that's all I really have to say.
Yeah. I mean, different personal experience, of course, but for me personally, because I saw his last career goal. I'm Colombian, so he played alongside Luis Diaz, so I saw that partnership on and off the bench as well. So I saw that in a couple games, not all games, because I'm not a Liverpool fan. So um, it definitely touched the heart, and obviously it's a like I said, it's a player, a well-known player for every footballer, like every football fan to know, and he played in the Premier League. He played for Liverpool. He just won the Prem. He just won the Nations League for Portugal. So like he was well known. So very sad. But we pray for better days, and I know a lot of these players are gonna carry these things, and will carry his memory forever. His legacy will forever live on, and life lesson for all of you guys watching this, and not just this tragedy, but every tragedy. But due to the circumstances, like we said countless times, he got married a week prior, won the Premier League, won the Nations League for club and country, respectively, and also at the age of 28, for many athletes in the world, in football especially, that is the prime of your career, taken short. You live every day like it's your last. Take every day for granted because you'll never know if tomorrow is your last, and you'll never know during the course of the day what can happen to you. Your life can change like this. Your life can go up, your life can go down, but at the same time, take every day for granted because it's like I said, you'll never know what will happen tomorrow.
I mean, don't take every day for granted.
Do you?
No, say don't. You said take every day for granted. It's the
No, like,
reverse.
don't take
Don't take every day for granted.
don't take every I'm sorry. Don't take every day for granted. You'll have highs and lows, but you'll never know if your life will flip like this, like a light bulb, like, oh, everything's good, or your life will flip upside down. You know. But always trust in God. God will be there for you. He'll protect you. And as long as you have faith, everything will be okay. That is the end of this video. A very personal one from the Barely Football family. And we just wanted to talk to you about Diogo Jota, his legacy as a player and as a person, and what we can learn from this from now on. Because life is beautiful, you know. Enjoy it while you can, you know. Okay. I'm your host, Giancarlo. This is my co-host,
Gabriel.
Thank you for watching. This is episode 3 of the Offside series here on Barely Football. See you next time, and we'll see you in a bit.